Welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham, and welcome to my show. And today I'm going to be going over my first ever wedding budget. That's right, we got a couple on here who's about to get married, and they want me to go over and critique their budget. So let's see exactly where they're spending money, and then I'll give my own opinion about where I think they're probably spending too much. So anyway, with that said, let's bring them on. So welcome to the Stephan Show. What's going on?
Hey. My name's Wesley, and on the other side you can see my fiance Jane. And we're here just to discuss with you how crazy expensive weddings are, especially over here on the Northeast.
In the Philly area, and one of the things that we first looked at was just how much weddings across the U.S. cost. And we quickly found out that weddings in the New Jersey, Philly, New York area are way more expensive than anywhere else.
How expensive? What are you prepping me for?
So I think the average for our area was between $40,000 to $60,000.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's no joke.
For that, why is it so expensive to get married? Why?
Because they know people will pay it. I mean, that has to be it. Because if you were to hire these people for anything other than a wedding, it would be so much cheaper. But there's definitely a tax that comes along with just telling someone that it's a marriage.
Yeah. Oh, they got you because they know it's like this is your one day. Your one time where you could we're not going to splurge every time. It's just this once.
Time. Every vendor you talk to, that's their opening line. Their opening line is, "Oh, what are you going to do on this once in a lifetime opportunity? How can we make this date perfect?" And so, pressure's high.
People, scam artists use the same thing. Once in a lifetime opportunity. The same thing. It's a pyramid scheme, it's a scam artist, or it's a wedding venue. It's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I think it's pretty fair to say that I wouldn't necessarily say it's a scam as much as because we kind of knew what we were getting into. But I would admit at some of the prices, we were kind of like, okay, that feels like a little bit like we got scammed.
It's price gouging is really what it is.
It really is.
You know what it is? It's the equivalent of you being in a hot desert for a week and then someone comes up to you with a gallon of water. And it's like, it's $2,000 for 1 gallon of water. If you really want it, otherwise, but you don't have to buy it, but you're so thirsty. You're just like, okay, fine. I'll pay you whatever price you want to. When did you guys get married? So you're already married.
So we're not married yet. Actually, today we just went to the local court to file for the license.
Okay.
Even though our wedding got canceled, well, it got postponed. It didn't get canceled. We're still going to go through and get married on that day.
Okay. So it's been a little spoiled here. So I'm going to say it to everybody. It's your total comes up here that I see is almost 50 grand.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up a little bit more than that. But yeah, that's what our budget was for.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think our initial budget was going to be at around $40,000, and then all these small costs came in that we never even knew about or never realized how much things would cost. For example, all the money for tipping everyone the day of, we never even considered that.
Where's the money coming from? Is this something that you guys saved up for? Who's paying for it?
It's really common for people's parents to pay for their weddings. However, it's kind of important to Jane and I to pay for our own wedding. So I am actually paying for the wedding myself.
Now, but once you guys get married, wouldn't this be essentially you both are paying for the wedding, right?
Absolutely. Yes, I agreed. It is we're both paying for it.
Here's an honest question. I mean, do you see this being a good investment in the long term instead? Because otherwise you got 50 grand. That's a down payment on a little rental property somewhere that you guys could keep forever. 50 grand is quite a few just lavish vacations that you could be taking every single year. This 50 grand could be worth, $500,000 in 35 years from now.
I mean, you're absolutely right.
For one day.
Because of everything that's going on, we're postponing our actual celebration for next year, and we're having a private ceremony later this month. And what we're realizing is the cost of the dress can be a lot less, the cost of food can be a lot less, and we'd still have an equally beautiful, special, unique experience that we'll remember forever.
I have something to confess. This was a mistake. Okay. So we're, like I said, like you said, we're just going to do a small ceremony, just me, her, and our parents. But you're going to get kicked out of this one. But I made a mistake, and I was trying to be on top of everything, and I paid for things in advance. So we were having this ceremony whether we want to or not. So that was a lesson
Wow.
for me. I definitely will not be doing that again.
I think both of our parents would have been fine if we just did like a small private wedding, like just $5,000 and just have a unique day. But I don't know. I think again, I'm suckered into this whole like it's a once in a lifetime experience, and you have the pictures and memories forever.
Right. But you know what is also a once in a lifetime memory is saving $50,000. You'll remember that for the rest of your life. I mean, my whole thing is that you would have just as good of a day going and renting a big Airbnb somewhere, invite all your friends and family, cater Chipotle and pizza, go and have a lavish, fun party for everyone. $6,000, $7,000 max. You go to Bevmo, you get a whole bunch of drinks, whole bunch of do-it-yourself stuff. Everyone brings their own little food item, dessert. That's a fun time. That's a great party. People remember parties like that. I do.
I think you're right. We actually had a friend who, so for their wedding, they did something pretty clever. I don't know if it's wrong or not, but they basically hired everyone to do the wedding, but didn't tell any of their vendors that it was a wedding. And so they just told them that it was a party. And they got their wedding for significantly cheaper. And I don't know, it's a really interesting idea. But like you're right, because at the end of the day, it is kind of just a party.
That's genius. I love that concept. I love it because they're doing the same job. It's just that your wedding,
right?
Like
absolutely,
it's 50% more.
Right, and they weren't going to do anything on the day of. Like they basically let everyone show up, and then it was a wedding. The guests were in suits instead of just like casual attire is basically the only difference.
I think that's so smart. So let's take a look through your budget here. Let's see. So we got price for $110 a person. Okay.
That was actually a great price that we got. Believe
for the area.
For the area.
Yeah. I get that. I guess where I see some of the high price here, we get a DJ $2,000. I don't know. I feel like there's a whole bunch of college kids out there who are really good DJs who would be like $50 in beer money would be like through the roof happy.
The way we ended up choosing most of our vendors was we had some kind of connection to them. Like, so for instance, this DJ was actually the DJ at my brother's wedding. And he did really good job.
He actually gave us the same price that he charged that couple in 2016. Because one thing that changes is like they raise their prices every year. So he actually.
Yeah, so it'd actually be more expensive if we saved a couple $100 on that. But
we got photography, videography, $6,000. Again, there's a whole bunch of college, intern filmmakers who like $100. They got the best equipment,
True. But we ended up doing a lot of research for photographers in the area. Some started out at like $3,000 and some just went up exponentially. But it's kind of like, I feel like if you actually compare the quality of their work, like we saw some people that were using like fish lenses and
we saw some terrible photos. Like one thing we realized, especially with the vendors, was that you do not always get what you pay for. Most times, like if you buy a nicer car, you get a nicer car. But with vendors, it's so arbitrary. Like we saw people we saw the photographers that were twice as expensive as the ones that we actually went with. And you look at their like online photos and you're like, wow, like I don't really know how they got away with charging so much, but people will pay for it. I think a lot of times people get fooled into, if they see a larger price tag, they just assume it's better.
So what are the things that you think are important to splurge on? Like, did you guys have any disagreements about like where to spend the money?
I think I was willing to spend a lot more than Jane was. We could have ended up with a much more expensive wedding had I made all the decisions. Luckily, Jane has been tried to cut back some.
I just watched your video about how to get a guy to spend money on you, and
oh my, yeah, there you go. You could have gotten this very well to $100,000.
I mean, I would have paid for it, man. Whatever it takes to get married, right?
Yeah, I think one thing that I was hesitant about is like a lot of the costs for the wedding are on the bride. Like my dress is worth like multiple times what his tux is worth. My veil is worth more than his tux that he's renting for the day. My veil is $500. His tux is like $200. And the hair and makeup, like that's all for me. We're not getting it for him. So I feel like that kind of just felt like a little unequal for me. And And I guess like looking back at the cost, I don't really know if I would really change anything. I mean, I think it's a significant amount of money, but I think a lot of the costs are for the experience and the memories.
So what have you learned from all of this? Just like an overall takeaway in terms of getting married, trying to save money, what's worth it, what's not.
I think most of this came down to like, instead of asking ourselves like, oh, how would we feel about this? It was like, oh, how is our guest going to feel about this? Which is, it was so wrong. I would say it wasn't until well after we finished planning and booking most of the vendors that we like finally got a chance to sit back and be like, oh, like we just planned the wedding that we thought our guests would like and not the wedding that we wanted. If you're new, like you just got engaged and just started planning a wedding, really take the time to decide if the wedding's for you or if it's for your guests.
That's a good one. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Was there anything else you wanted to add on?
No, I think that's about it. I have a question. Would you have any advice? Because you make so many videos giving advice.
You have a good one too. So what's the?
So my only advice is you said food for 150 guests. I don't see food for 152 guests.
Oh,
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did I just invite myself?
You know what? I think that we could probably make space. I mean,
Yeah.
we probably wouldn't notice our face in the crowd.
I almost wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind going. It sounds like a.
Hey, so the main course is.
Oh, and it's got to be 3 Jack.
Oh, Jack's got to come. That's true. That's true. Someone's got to record it. Hey,
Yeah,
the main course
worry.
is sirloin steak and lobster tail. So.
Are you serious? I was gonna joke. I'm like, what are they eating? Lobster?
Yes.
So, yeah,
Steak and lobster.
Smash the like button, you guys, and we could do like a vlog follow-up video to this. No joke. If you guys want to do it.
Our DJ was worth it because we think he is.
That's true. You can judge our vendors and say if they're worth the price.
Yeah, that would be so fun. It would be like an undercover thing where I go in and like rate a wedding. Millennial wedding review.
That's not a bad idea.
Like the undercover boss. I go through and I take a little bit of everything.
Oh my gosh, that makes the day even more nerve-wracking than it already is.
Oh man. All right, I'll clear my schedule next year. We'll make it happen.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll keep in touch. See you guys. Bye. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, if you have not already destroyed the like button, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there. And lastly, if you guys want 2 free stocks, use the link down below in the description, and Webull is going to be giving you 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 on the platform, with one of the stocks potentially valued up to $1,400. So if you want your 2 free stocks, make sure to use the link down below. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know which 2 free stocks you get, and until next time.